TGIF, thank God it's Friday. It's my best day of the week because I get time to actually rest. You know, when you've done all that there is to do, the next thing for you is to take a well-deserved rest. And Friday launches me into that season of my life. Welcome on board to Spring Trends right here on Western Spring Television. Here we'll talk about everything trending. What's trending, who's trending, why they are trending, and reactions on social media. My name is Evelyn Ohiolei. Femi is here. Happy weekend. Happy Friday.
It's still morning or Friday. You are ready?
But I'm happy.
Okay. We should be happy.
Aren't you happy it's Friday?
We should be happy.
I mean, Friday is the only day you get to see or you get to hear, thank God it's Friday.
Thank God for every other day. Well, good morning.
Good morning. All right, so let's get right into it. This morning, very first story I have today is on, the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. Let's see, yesterday we took her on, and today we will still have one thing that she said that has got people talking on social media. Let's see what we have right here on this particular one. Nigerians abroad are taking on jobs they refused to do at home. With all their education, they drive cabs there, but won't drive cabs in Nigeria. First Lady Remi Tinubu is saying the Nigerians will go outside of the country. Some they go to be caregivers, some they go to work in mugs, some they go to drive cabs, cab driver. In fact, you see people that resign their jobs, well-paying jobs, to go become cab drivers, to go become caregivers outside of the country. But Nigerians didn't allow our what is that normal common Nigerian parlance, to drink water, drop cup.
And drop up, yeah.
Before they came at her. Social media X, Richie says, Dear First Lady Remi Tinubu, it's more like a letter. Dear First Lady Remi Tinubu, most cab drivers outside the country earns more than most bank managers in Nigeria. Our focus as humans is always money, survival, what and where works for us, not about the business. And Thoughts says, why will a cleaner caring for a geriatric patient abroad have good food, electricity, money, at least $50,000, shelter, and those doing the same year in Nigeria paid 60,000 naira? I cannot. You people do not compensate workers well and expect them not to japa. Comrade Olajide Ikojenyo says it just shows how disconnected these government officials are to the realities of the common man. With those jobs abroad, they can comfortably take care of their families and live a decent life there. But the same cannot be said for the person doing the same job in Nigeria. Femi, your thoughts on this?
I think my take is, first of all, let's establish that movement from one point to another is guaranteed in our laws. From one country to the other is not just happening now. It has always been so. We have some of our fathers, grandfathers, go to study abroad. Going to study abroad, going to work abroad is not new. But then what is, however, worrisome is the speed of the exodus right now. Because many persons, and it didn't start, let's state it, it didn't start with Tinubu's government at all. It has been there for the past 4 or 5 years. That's a word was even coined for it. Or japa, meaning, you just leaving one point in haste to another point for the pursuit of greener pastures, so to say, even when it appears that the grass is not always green on the other side. So, but it shows the failure, massive failure of successive government over the years, especially for its knowledge economy. The creatives, the tech guys, the medical health workers, medical doctors, nurses, caregivers, moving abroad, even bankers. And it will interest you to know, and our people to know, that those that you might even consider to have good jobs, they're the ones that are moving, away, because the answer is they're the one that can afford
to
the kind of millions that it costs, because it doesn't come cheap.
Exactly.
Especially if you are moving your family with you.
And with this depreciation of the naira at this time.
With what is happening. So it's a failure, systemic failure of the past that makes people to lose interest. I've seen people who are traveling because of security. there was one guy that was there. He tried to establish something, came back, got some money, established a farm around us here, a very big farm. Got people to be working. One day, cartels, by herders straight into the farm,
And
destroyed the farm, did many things. He was called upon, to come and see. He tried to mediate. He was attacked. The guy ran away, took whatever he could take, and said, never again. These, and a young person. There was a particular investor in the Oyo State corridor that came, established a farm as well. Well, somebody that was wealthy. I've forgotten the name now. The case was a bit popular then. He came back, established, some farm, got people to be working for him. He was kidnapped on that farm. Ransom was paid. He died in the abductor's den. They still received ransom. And later, he died there. You know what the family did? They came from abroad, took his corpse. They didn't even bury him here in Nigeria. They took him back abroad. What does that connote? It connotes that family is saying
we have
nothing will link us to this place. Because if their father's body is here, they might have to be coming. So they took him away from his father's land, took him, instead of somebody died there, bringing him here, they took their own father. And that's them saying we are cutting connection. He made money there, brought it back here. Some individuals or criminals kidnapped him. So people jackpot is not just for money at times. And this kind of work that people are doing, yes, maybe we'll have done something different here, but everybody have their plans. How many people believe that's just entry level? After some time, they find their bearing and they will be fine. But jackpot is not compulsory. It is what you want.
Yes, and I like the point you made that people, go for different reasons. Some is not just for the money, some is for security of life, some is for the security of their children's future. We know what education is saying here at this time. So it's important that this government, especially this administration we are in now, and government at all levels, ensure that we have a working system so we can have people come back into the country. If you do the right things, definitely people will gravitate towards what is working well.
So
people will definitely
the first
come back
lady should
home.
not just guilt trip them.
Exactly, that's guilt tripping. Very well, great guilt tripping. Story 2 is on Sheikh Ahmed Gumi rather. Sheikh Ahmed Gumi saying that the federal government has no right to declare anyone terrorist financier. Remember that the federal government recently released a list containing 15 names, 9 individuals, and 6 bureaux de change that they are financiers of terrorism in Nigeria. And chief on that list is Tuko Mamu, who is still having a case, his day in court. Ahmed Gumi is saying that the federal government has no right to declare this one's terrorist. Reactions on social media at this time. Nnamdi Celestin says, I do not understand how someone will just make themselves defenders of terrorists and bandits with an attempt to label them freedom fighters. If he has his own list, let him provide them. How he has not been charged for aiding and standing for terrorists baffles me. And Ede says, again I ask, why is this guy still able to talk and walk freely? Y'all see how it is rubbing it in? And this is a lengthy one. Omoya teacher says, Nigerians who continue to support one Nigeria. I wouldn't want to take this particular tweet. Let's move over to reactions at this time. Femi, your thoughts?
I think to some extent, if you are just trying to be unbiased here, Sheikh Gumi has his own point to say it's only a court of law, that should pronounce somebody as guilty and, put a particular tag, not even as guilty, put a particular tag that he as sensitive, as being financiers of terrorism. A financier of terrorism is a terrorist. That's what that person is, because you are the one backing them, giving them the support, and it's more like a business if actually there is whatever they gain from it, either finances, either logistics, either land grabbing. There have been accusations of land grabbing as well by these insurgents, either within or outside the shores of our land. But then Sheikh Gumi, for his antecedents, We all know him. He appears, he is an apologist. Whenever these things happen and the people and the military are going all hard on, these criminals, you will see him come out to say, no, this is not working. You will only suffer collateral damage. In fact, I watched an interview of his on Arise News years back, I think like 2 years ago or thereabout, where he said those kinetic forces that the military are using, they're just using it in vain because those guys, they are well trained, that none of those shots will hit them. It's only the abductees that in their camps that those things will hit. Are you sure it will hit them? Do not hit them. They know how to hide. And you are wondering, it's somebody that is more like gloating, somebody talking about the brilliance of criminals and how they know how to, evade attacks. And you wonder, is he here? Is he part of us? What does he stand to gain?
Exactly.
There have been accusations against him. There's a particular video during a negotiation that somebody said they went to him, in his camps, the woman said he brought 800,000 naira, and in Shegumi camp, somebody said that's not enough. And then, in his camp, the woman was told that, we don't care, just bring whatever you have to bring. But I think a serious government must see to this matter. Invite him. We are not saying arrest him. Invite him. Let him help with this fight against insecurity. In as much as they are his kinsmen, they are his people, let him help the Nigerian people.
All right, from insecurity, we move straight to money matters. Money matters, Naira is gaining, yes. And we have this one from the presidency: dump your dollars to avoid tears. Naira will appreciate. And we have seen over a couple of days that Naira has been gaining. And the presidency is, sounding a note of warning or caution, an advice, a counsel, whatever it is you want to call it, that ensure that now that you have your dollars that you want to sell it now, because the Naira will appreciate, to avoid stories that touches. Olusegun_Sain says, good news, but I wouldn't until it drops. I do not mind losing some bucks if Naira will genuinely appreciate. And Troy says, in general, it is really fascinating to see how young Nigerians enjoyed the rise in dollar against Naira with the whole crypto thing and the call on the government for not doing enough, then get mad when the Naira appreciates against the dollar. And No Cap says, Naira will never grow, Naira will never grow. No work in refineries, no work in factories, no work in agriculture, no work in power sector, no local industrialization, no saving habit, no security, no tourism, no skill-based education, no transparency, no accountability. This is just a list of the reason why Naira will never appreciate, according to No Cap on X. Your thoughts, Femi, very quickly.
I think whatever the CBN is doing, whatever policy they think is working now, we should keep pushing at it. But then it should not be something that is just like penny wise and pound foolish. By the way, we should count the general cost. Yes, the Naira is gaining. That's the overall interest of Nigerians, so that you have value. I mean, our currency will have value.
Are you sure it's for all Nigerians? Because there are some people that are really angry that the Naira is appreciating.
That's what I mean. I mean for the greater good.
All right.
Just not just for a few, but for the greater good of the majority, of having our money get some value. I know there are businessmen or women who, possibly for their own gains might not be happy this is happening, but for the generality, the millions of the rest of Nigerians whose these things will affect positively, let the handlers keep pushing.
All right, our next story and final story for today on the baby edition, right here on Spring Trends. There was this tweet on X by Ohiolei saying, babies are not innocent angels, they are selfish and wicked. Start a problematic discussion. That's coming from Chiamaka Precious reacting to Ohiolei's tweet. Let's take this video. We'll be back to have reactions. Do not go anywhere.
sliver of meat like a piece, and it was like everything so much.
أولى خطيرة والهدف الأول 1-0 كريستيانو رونالدو. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus.
What would you like for today?
For the whole day?
Yeah.
I'd like some peace and quiet.
No, we don't sell that.
Of course, babies are actually very amazing creatures. I mean, they are humans, we are human beings, no doubt. But at that stage, they don't. It's like they don't care. They don't, and they don't have any cares. They don't have any worries. I mean, you know, you could see those videos of what these babies were doing. Normally, if an adult should do that to you, hey, Omo. And with that particular video ending it, and the mother was asking the child, what would you like to have today? I mean, welcome to our restaurant. What would you like to have today? The mother was saying, I need some peace and quiet, please. I said, no, we don't sell that here. All right, reactions before I come over to Femi. Engineer Fakmole says, very selfish. They don't send you. My daughter packed 4 biscuits that she was supposed to eat for a whole week, put inside our lunch bag, and we didn't know. She finished everything before she came back. It was when my wife picked her up from school. A teacher asked my wife, is today your daughter's birthday? And Rapper also says, my own will look at me, give me a hot slap. He once used his water bottle to hit my eyes. I had swollen eyes and people didn't believe me when I said it was my son who hit me with his water bottle. They thought it was from a fight. And Quadrille Adebayo says, my 8-month-old baby and her mama fighting every day. I settle them. And Shisem says, why will someone be crying seriously because they want to go to Christmas when it's just March? Babies are amazing individuals. Your thoughts very quickly. All right, the last one here. After Duce said, funny thing is the people you guys are talking about cannot see all this. And really, that's the truth. Your thoughts?
You know, those individuals, I call them individuals, those little individuals can be interesting.
Yes.
You know, for all you care, sometimes it brings joy. Those little mischiefs, you know, I wouldn't call it, it's not intentionality, but it's just they have
They don't know better.
some strain of mischief in them. You know, you see 2 siblings, especially they are very young, what they do to themselves, especially the younger one.
Yeah.
Who is a bit aggressive. Firstborn sometimes for some reasons
They understand.
are a bit cooler.
They are mature, kind
but
of
the
mature.
ones that they born after them, they are a bit aggressive. And you see in Africa, you see the mother always pampering the latter, you know, instead of the former to say, don't beat my child.
Yeah.
And the 2 of them are your children, by the way.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And it gives joy, by the way. But there is destructive tendency in children. And then you have to watch it when you have to. Somebody talked about a tweet that your children was a child or his child will slap him or her, I think they are, you know, hit you with water bottles. That's some destructive tendencies. That's some aggressive. Sometimes they exhibit these things. You say they don't know better. One morning, more, and then some of them go with those things. If you are seeing a pattern that is destructive, that is aggressive and violent, you should check it. Yeah. But don't take it too hard initially, because every child has some strain of mischief in them. Sometimes they just want to express. Even with some I have somebody who said, now waiting go kill them that they always want to. And these are the issues. You've seen children go to put their hands in something that is dangerous.
Yes.
You are boiling water with boiling ring, they want to put
touch it.
They climb burglary. You know, my child climbs burglary and the mother have to be pursuing her for feeding. Because she will not just stay in a place. That's what they do. But that's why I say anything that looks like a pattern that is violent, because they will do it on their on their
Younger
colleagues in
ones,
school.
yeah.
And that would be bad for any child.
Yeah, children are amazing.
But their
individuals.
innocence
Their
should not be taken
innocent.
away.
They can be
Yeah.
annoying sometimes,
They
but
can,
you know, you just have to
and
accommodate
frustrating.
their excesses because
Yeah.
for mothers, once it is, you know, once it is holiday time, they're like, oh, these children are coming back. And once it is school time, school resumption time, they are meeting their kids again. So you're wondering, what do you want? You don't want
Yeah.
them here. You don't want them to
And
go.
for African mothers, if you do anyhow, you receive account.
And that actually speaks to their uniqueness. Thank you so much for being a part of our world all throughout this week. We appreciate you. We thank you as always. We'll make a return next week, Monday, for another interesting edition of Spring Trends right here on Western Spring Television. Ensure to offer yourself a good rest. Take care of yourself. Have fun. But ensure that you have fun with sense. Thank you, Femi Ojo, for coming.
My pleasure.
My name is Evelyn Ohiolei. Have yourself a good and productive day and a fabulous weekend. Bye-bye.